He said, getting on my nerves.
He says, what's up? He says, what's up?
He said, I'm gonna mess you up.
It's Sub-Zero. It's Sub-Zero's 4-month birthday. He was born on, what month was he born? He was born on November 19th, the day before my birthday, which is the 20th. It makes him exactly by days 4 months old, but he won't be officially 4 months old until the 19th of this month.
That's why he's a mofo.
Let's go. Come on. Let's get down. All right, I'm going to put him back on the couch.
Yes.
I'll hold on to this guy.
I don't want to. I feel like I have another baby, and I don't want another baby.
That's all good. All right. Hello, and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Friday, March the 11th. He's snoring.
He's pissed that you bothered him. He was sleeping beautifully until you grabbed him.
So today is March the 11th, 2022. And it's a rainy day here in Southern Alabama, which, as you all know, if it's a rainy day, we're generally doing shows. So here we are. Okay. Really good show today. I can't wait for this one. By the way, stay tuned to the very end because I'm going to ask you guys how you feel about a certain personal endeavor, and we'll see what you think in return. All right. Stay tuned as well. We're going to do another cash giveaway attempt today. So the last show, we stated that if anybody could correctly guess the score of the Naomi Osaka and Sloane Stephens match, that we would give that person $50 cash US sent to you by PayPal, Venmo, or some other secure way. No one guessed it, but I must say one thing. The score I guessed yesterday was Osaka would beat Sloane Stephens 6-2, 6-1, right? It happened, but it was in 3 sets.
Then it didn't happen, Justin.
Yeah, it happened, but it didn't. I didn't factor in losing the first set. So all in all, we came close. So we're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to do another $50 cash grab or cash giveaway attempt. And we're going to do that by guessing the score of the Rafael Nadal and Sebastian Korda match, which takes place tomorrow. So that gives everyone a chance to watch this. Sometimes when we do these spur of the moment, people don't get to watch it till later because they have no idea it's coming. But everyone that wants to partake in the $50 giveaway for today's show, let's predict the final score of the Rafael Nadal and Sebastian Korda match. Okay.
Sloane definitely didn't have it if she lost 6-2, 6-1, Gene. She lost 6-2, 6-1. Just put him on the couch. You can't jump.
Yeah, I got it.
You don't have it if you lose a 2-set 6-2, 6-1. The second set wasn't close, so there's no way she had it. I mean, it's like I said, it's women's tennis. You're hot, and then you go away, and then you're hot. No. Let me see. Korda's playing against Nadal, you said?
Yes.
I will guess 6-4, 6-2 Nadal.
I'm turning the sound off because it keeps blowing out. All right, so Carla has, what do you have?
6-4, 6-2.
6-4, 6-2 Carla for Nadal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we'll keep that going. So remember that only thing you need to do is just to make sure you're subscribed, and the rest is history. All right, you guys ready to start? Let's lock in. Boom, let's go. Come on. Let's start with Rafael Nadal. Okay. So Rafael Nadal has, in essence, the best start of his career here in 2022, right? Oh, Gene Swartz in. Gene Swartz got Rafael Nadal at 6-2, 6-2. So let's put Gene Swartz down, 6-2, 6-2. Gene Swartz. Gene, let's go. And he wants Nadal. Okay. Rafael Nadal is 35 years old, right? 35 years old, and is currently headed towards the best start of his career, or is having the best start of his career, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my question is this: how does this year end for Rafael Nadal?
He should be smart, really. I wish he wouldn't even be playing this tournament. Concentrate on those slams. You don't need to be number one in the world. You don't need to tear up your body, anymore. Yesterday we were warming up on hard courts. Geez, I got used to the clay court now. I
Yeah.
could feel my body was like slower on the hard court. I was like, wow. I didn't like the pounding on it, you know. So I don't know why he would. I don't know why he would play. I think he needs to. He could have a very good year if he's super smart and
Well,
selective with his tournaments. Win the French Open, get whatever, you know, another Grand Slam.
we'll see what happens.
Wimbledon is not going to happen. You know that already.
Will he finish with 22 majors or more?
I think he could win French Open because I don't think he could win the French Open. I don't think he'll win the U.S. Open or Wimbledon. No.
I think one of his best starting years ever was 2010, where he came out all dressed in black, all ripped up with a sleeveless shirt at the U.S. Open, and he won the U.S. Open that year.
Yeah.
Anyway, does Rafael Nadal succumb to injury this year? At 35 years old,
He can get injured anytime. He's unpredictable.
Okay. Does Rafael Nadal have continue to have a lights out season and cement himself as the greatest of all time? Right now, as we know, we've debated this ad nauseum.
I don't think that he'll have the greatest season. I can never say that anymore. You just never know. You think someone's going to have a great hot year just because they win the first slam and then they kind of disappear. So no, I'm not going to say that.
Does Nadal win Indian Wells?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think it's in his best interest to even put 100% effort into it?
No, I already said this. No. He shouldn't even be playing it.
Definitely wants to plot along here and see what happens. By the way, speaking of Rafael Nadal, we have talked about the last couple of shows, Puppy Hater or Sasha Zverev is his real name. But we've talked about Zverev and his tirade on the umpire chair.
Mm-hmm.
Rafael Nadal is a friend and a hitting partner of Zverev.
You just keep going with this puppy hater with the table, with the chair. I mean, with the
okay. Let me mention this because this involves your boy.
Okay.
This involves Nadal.
Yeah.
Okay. Rafael Nadal himself, and he alluded to that he's a friend of Zverev, and that he's a hitting partner and he respects him.
Of course, he has to say that.
But he alluded to that his punishment, meaning Zverev's punishment or disciplinary action for blasting the umpire's chair, needed to be a little more.
Yeah, I agree with him. Okay. I mean, I tell my friends how it is. If I think they did something wrong, I'll tell them how it is.
Yes.
No big deal.
No big deal at all.
No.
If you're just tuning in, again, $50 give out is for anyone that can guess the final score of Nadal playing Sebastian Korda. All right. For me, I don't think Nadal does really well in this tournament. Not because he's not the best player in the tournament or one of the best players in the tournament, but because there's so much to lose for him. And the thing so much to lose is his body, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, at 35, and you've had foot injury, knee injury, every type of injury, I would chill out with the hard court.
Yeah, but for me, I think outside of playing for his sponsors, playing for ticket sales, etc., I don't think he's there to in his head win the whole thing.
I mean, if he played Indian Wells, I wouldn't play Miami. Don't play Miami. Just play the Indian Wells. Go back home. Practice on the red clay.
He needs the 2022 French Open. He needs it to solidify himself as the greatest of all time.
He needs it just to make it tougher on Djokovic.
Exactly. So I don't expect too much from him for this tournament. Let's talk about Daniil Medvedev just for a moment. Do you think there's a lot more pressure on Daniil Medvedev now carrying the #1 ranked player in the world playing this tournament? Do you think it bothers him?
I think it does. Anybody who's #1, it always puts pressure on them. Always.
As well, Daniil Medvedev is playing without being able to fly his Russian flag. Is he affected by that?
I don't think so.
Think he's his normal self, like who cares?
Yeah. I mean, he cares what's going on, but that shouldn't bother him that he can't fly his own flag. I mean, he's there for Medvedev, not for Russia. Do you see what I'm saying? You're there. You're a person. Yeah, I get you represent your country, blah, blah, blah is everything, but he's representing himself. His country's not paying his bills. He's doing that himself. It's his talent. It's his hard work. That got him there. Nothing else.
I couldn't agree anymore. Yeah. However, there is a lot of press at this point about, we've talked about this a couple days in a row, that we feel kind of sorry for, or we do feel sorry for a lot of these athletes that are Russian and yet they're being kind of isolated because they're from there, even though they probably don't even live there, or they probably live in Monte Carlo or some year-round tennis locale like Florida. But it has to be some type of an emotional distress, knowing that you are from an area in which there is active warfare going on, right?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Um,
Let's see what Gene sent me some info.
So another question though, is Daniil Medvedev the clear favorite to win Indian Wells?
No, I don't think so.
Who do you think the clear favorite is to win Indian Wells?
There is no clear favorite.
Well, most people would say Nadal or Medvedev. And, they played the Australian Open final. Mm-hmm. They played again recently, and Nadal won quite easily there. Mm-hmm. And then here they are as the two best players in the draw currently at Indian Wells. Mm-hmm. I don't think that Nadal even gets to the point to play him, because I don't think Nadal is going to tax and put everything in to this tournament to even get that far. My question, though, I think Medvedev is the clear favorite to win it, okay? Because of what I already said about Nadal. I don't think he's going to put everything into it, and I think Medvedev is not worried about the pressure of being number one.
Has he ever won a hardcourt Masters, guys? I mean, Gene, you seem to know a lot. Josh comment, imagine when Rafa would be with, imagine
where Rafa would be without injuries.
I mean, imagine if Federer didn't have injuries. Imagine if Djokovic didn't had the vaccine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you noticed Josh's last name is very similar to Heineken, like
yes.
Heineken beer?
Yes.
It's pretty cool. Look, I don't think that Medvedev is pressured at all playing with the number one ranking. I've read a couple articles about this where people are writing away, hey, he's got this pressure and blah, 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 blah. I do think, though, in the back of his mind, he's thinking about the conflict in Ukraine. And by the way, once again, a shout out to all of those from Ukraine and Russia, too, because, again, it's just one guy that's kind of creating this mess and maybe a few cronies. But a shout out to both sides. Shout out to the Russians, a shout out to the Ukrainians. Peace will end up prevailing for sure. But anyway, my thing with Medvedev is I've said it so many times that I don't feel like Medvedev is one of the best number one players, right? Who are some other, number one players that kind of got there? Players that kind of got there with playing just a lot of tournaments. Wozniacki, Marcellus Rios in the years. Anyway, is anyone willing to do what Djokovic does to Medvedev? Lure him inside the court, bring him inside the baseline, make him play the short court with those big booming ground strokes. Is anyone else willing to do it besides Novak Djokovic?
I don't know.
That's his Achilles heel.
Yeah, but I think on hard court it's harder to do that because the ball kind of sits up a little bit on you. It's different. Remember when he played him? Was it
grass?
Wimbledon? Yeah. The ball doesn't sit as high. I think it's harder to do that on hard court. You better hit a great drop shot, otherwise the ball sits up. And a well-trained player will put the ball away.
Good point. But
I don't think it's a good strategy, in my opinion, on hard court. It's just not. You would drop shots on hard court. I would not. I would advise against it. Just a few here and there, not too many. No.
I think drop shots on hard courts are imperative, though.
Yeah, but you can't constantly do it. You better hit a great drop shot. Be confident that you have the opportunity and the time to do it. If you don't, someone like him is going to eat you up.
Okay, so answer this question from a coaching perspective. When and where do you feel like employing the drop shot is a necessity?
Clay, move your opponent. It's hard to grab onto the surface. Your feet are unstable on clay. You're sliding everywhere, so you have to almost dig to run grass. Another great place to have it. If you're going to drop shot on a hard court, make sure your opponent is like off the court. Do it on the other side or way back. Like if he were receiving back, then hit a drop shot. But you can't do it all the time because drop shots are the most difficult shot to do. Even pros,
at least consistently.
Even pros have a hard time doing great drop shots. We know. I mean, there was Djokovic who failed at it at the U.S. Open. He was trying, and they were sitting up too high. You better hit a good drop shot. It's very tough. You're telling me under pressure, you're playing a match, you're in the point. All of a sudden, a drop shot. You're gonna be successful 10 out of 10 times if you try 10 times.
Yeah, that's a good drill.
You might be successful 2 out of 10 times.
This is a good drill. We do a lot of drills. In tennis, when you play the game, if you're averaging a C plus in certain categories, you're doing well. Like let's say your first serve percentage is 78%. You know, C plus, you're doing pretty good, right? If you are hitting, if you're winning 78% of your games, you're doing pretty darn well, right? So in tennis, if we can strive for a C plus, I think that's great. So with that said, what is easier to attain a C plus average in? A drop shot or a big first serve? Which one is more consistent? Big first serve or consistent drop shot?
I'll go with the big serve.
That's more. That's harder.
No, easier.
That's easier.
Yes.
So poll question.
At a pro level. At a pro level, I'm talking about.
Yeah. So poll question. At the pro level or above an intermediate level of the game, do you think, or is it your thought process that having a big first serve land in 75% of the time versus having your drop shot land in 75% of the time, what is an easier one to attain? I'm thinking the big serve is easier, right? Right?
Yeah. Probably.
Hitting a consistent drop shot is tough because if it just sits up just an inch too much, that's
at what percentage is that?
At the pro level, which is easier, serve or drop shot? That's fine. Just leave it at that. Okay, so it's very difficult to hit precision drop shots all the time, right? I do think if I'm playing Nevidev, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna damn well try it because homeboy's standing 27 feet behind the baseline. So I'm gonna chip, hack, and I'm gonna chip it to the spot that is cross court, the farthest away from him possible, right? So if he's returning serve into the ad court and hits me a big time backhand to my backhand into the ad court on my side, I'm dropping it to the deuce court service box just over the net. So I'm taking it down the line. Okay. I'm taking a drop shot down the line every time the serve and the +1 comes back to me. Every time. Because if Medvedev's a better player, well, then I have to throw everything at him, including the kitchen sink, right?
Yeah.
So I don't care if he's returning serve and the deuce court and we get into a forehand to forehand pattern, cross court to cross court. Eventually, I'm going to change direction and I'm going to chip it up the line into the ad court just across the net. And I'm going to piss him off. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to piss him off.
So far, serve 50%, 33 drop shot, neither 17%. So I asked, where are all his masters? So Gene answered, he said, Medi has won Rogers Cup 2021, Cincy 2019, Shanghai 2019, Paris 2020, all on hard court.
So here's a question too about Gene Swartz's answer. He says Medvedev has won the Rogers Cup, which is Canada, Cincinnati 2019. Okay, two big ones, right? The Shanghai and Paris are at the end of the year. A lot of players don't even play those tournaments. Not saying it's not a big deal, but two early tournaments that has a lot of value to me. But the end of the year after the U.S. Open, I think Paris and Shanghai are. So most players, not most, but a lot of them kind of are kind of taking it to the house and getting ready for Christmas at that time of the year.
Yeah.
All right.
That still says a lot about all his hardcores. That's what I'm saying. I think it's very tough to drop shot this guy if you don't do it the right way, because I think he'll put it away. And he's got such a long reach.
Yeah. A bad drop shot equals a cremation. Someone is going to kill that ball.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm still gonna hit the dropper.
Yep. Absolutely. Next.
Let's go. All right. So next little kind of subtopic here. Stefanos Tsitsipas, aka Tsitsias, right, is playing Teletubby Jack Sock. Okay, Teletubby Tsitsias. We have some great nicknames. Are you interested in the match?
No.
Why?
I don't enjoy watching Jack Sock play. I've never enjoyed his type of game. I mean, good for him for trying to get back into it. I think it's a little late for him to try to get back into the pro level or, at a high, be in the top 50, whatever. I don't know what his ranking is. Tsitsipas should demolish him. It shouldn't even be a match. Don't you think Tsitsipas at his level should beat him maybe 2-2? Shouldn't even be. If we go to 3 sets, there's a problem there.
I couldn't agree any more or less.
This should be like Djokovic playing Musetti. Djokovic playing Tennis Sangren. Djokovic playing his friend Pospisil. Djokovic playing, Give me another name. What's the one-handed back? Kohlschreiber. Which
I don't. You gave a lot of comparisons to the match, but
Yeah.
I don't think Teletubby Jack Sock. I don't think Teletubby is near the type of player that Cole Scriber is. I don't think Teletubby is near the type player of Musetti, right? So I think this match.
But I made the but Tsitsipas is not Djokovic either. That's why I made the comparison.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, it's like Nadal playing what's his name? Manarino. Something like that. You know, it's not supposed to be that competitive. Or better yet, Nadal playing Donald Young. There you go.
Wow. Donald Young, that could have been a lot better
Yeah.
if he would have gotten from underneath his parents coaching for so long.
Bjorn Borg clothing any good?
I haven't heard of the Bjorn Borg clothing.
I don't know.
Okay, do you like Jack Sock? Your opinions on that? Are you a fan of Jack Sock? Do you like watching him play? Do you like him as a person? Not saying that you've hung out with Jack Sock, but I think over the past 15 years or 10 years, we've heard so many stories.
6-0, 6-2. See what I mean? It's
so did he already put the so I didn't do the score prediction on that one.
But that's what I'm saying. This match is not even exciting.
So Gene Swart thinks that Tsitsipas is going to deal Jack Sock a bagel.
It's not exciting. I mean, at Tsitsipas level, he should win that. It's like like these kids that we played the other night playing our kids. They should win. They shouldn't brag about it because they should win. They should win.
Yep.
So that's my point. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be part of the conundrum.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the show.
That's like a private school playing a public school that doesn't have tennis courts. You should win.
That's us, baby.
Just saying,
that's
you
us.
should
Let's
win.
go.
You've got all the facilities, all the resources. Your parents have all the money for the training. You should win. There's no excuse. None.
Do you like Jack Sock's game? Do you
No,
care?
I don't.
Do you care for watching him
No,
play?
I think he could have more variety in his game.
Yeah, he's like your.
It's very Americanish.
He's you stole my words. He's
a very Americanish game.
Yeah, he's the typical U.S.
Let's hit the ball hard and let's hit it harder and let's rock and roll.
And I think you're still giving too much credit because basically the American game these days, for the most part on the men's side, is a forehand. They have a backhand in there, and it's always with two hands. So
who did he beat? I'm sorry, I got a new phone, so I haven't downloaded all my apps, so I'm getting used to it. Michael Walker says, I'm wearing Bjorn Borg clothing in the 80s. His company went bankrupt and his partner had a major falling out with him.
Sounds like a good relationship.
William Spencer said, I'm saying it'll be closer. Sock looked good last night, handing out 2 breadsticks.
Who Sock beat 1-1? Yeah, Sock won 1-1 last night against who? Qualifier? Because it's an American tournament. So Jack Sock probably got a lucky loser that was the worst player to come through qualies. I'm guessing. I mean, could you imagine? I'm guessing he played a no-namer. I may be wrong, though.
I'm going to find out right now. Geez.
Has anyone ever heard stories about Jack Sock's demeanor or conduct in the locker room? Has anybody?
Yeah, you've talked about it a lot.
Talked about this before. Jack Sock has a very long history of being a dickhead in the locker room, right?
Kokonakis lost to Korda, huh?
Who did Sock play yesterday?
Kyrgios won, which we saw some of that.
But has anybody heard that? Has anybody who's
Cerundolo? Who's Cerundolo?
Who did he play?
6-1, 6-1.
Okay, Cerundolo looks like an Argentinian.
Brooksby won 1-4, so what's the big deal?
That's what I'm saying. Look, Jack Sock.
Your boy Chorich lost, got bagel
by Musetti. We were just talking.
by Davidovich.
Why did I see Musetti there? Oh, he beat Marcus Giron.
Yeah.
Musetti, watch out for him though. He's a clean one-handed backhand player. I think he's really, really, really a great player in my opinion, and we need another one-handed backhand in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Can Musetti be that guy?
No.
Why?
Not yet. He's got a lot to prove.
Still kind of young, right?
Still young. Yeah. You can't jump on that bandwagon yet.
Anyway, good luck to Jack Sock and good luck to Tsitsipas. Again, we give them both grief and always have Tsitsipas, namely we call Sissy ass because he's always whining to his daddy. And then Jack Sock, Teletubby. He's put on some poundage or at least had a beer belly for a while and has always had kind of a bad rep in the locker room. Mm-hmm. And I think that's pretty straightforward, right? Let's shift to the women's side for a moment. Simona Halep is going to play Alexandrova today. Okay. I really do like Halep. The only problem that I have with Halep these days is her grunt or her squeal has gotten so much louder.
Mhm.
She never was the grunter that she is now. She's always grunted and made noise,
Mhm.
but now she's like a screeching freight train coming to a stop as to not hit the bus that's coming across the tracks.
Mhm.
She sounds like ass.
Mhm.
It's horrible.
Mhm.
Anyway, I do think it's a great match to watch. I think that's a good match, one of the better ones in the women's draw today, and I look forward. What?
I'm laughing at Michael Walker's comment.
What's
He
up
says,
with
"I like Jack Sock. He's only 29. He has come back strong. You must think he's cute or something. I don't know." But,
Who? Jack Sock?
yeah, I don't think Jack Sock has a comeback. I'm sorry, Michael Walker. Don't think so.
Ooh. All right, shifting.
I just don't think. I mean, I'd rather give more of a comeback to Federer than Jack Sock. You know what I mean?
What's to like about Jack Sock though?
Nothing.
What's there to like? A beer belly?
Nothing. There's nothing.
Attitude.
You can't tell me that his game is appealing to you. I mean,
he's egotistical.
Yeah.
He thinks his shit doesn't stink.
Yeah, but William Spencer was said, but again, Jerome and Nakashima they're not exciting either. I mean, they're just not, I think I'd rather Wolf, what's the young man's Jack Wolf? Well, no, what's his name? Something Wolf. I think he's got more of a flash, but they're not exciting.
Isn't Wolf from Australia though?
No, they're all, what's his name? Let me look. I was just looking at
which guy are you talking about?
The guy he had the mullet. What's his name?
Is he American? I thought he was Australian.
No, he's American.
Who's the guy with the mullet? I know you're talking about.
Here he is, Jay Wolf.
And he's from the U.S.?
JJ Wolf. Yeah, he's from the U.S.
Yeah, well, I was thinking he was Australian.
Stone, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, I think all these guys have such similar games. Jerome, Mackenzie McDonald, Jack Sock, Eubanks. All these guys are very similar. It's just similar. They're like the Fish and Blake, except Fish and Blake were way better.
Yeah, and they all play the same college D1
Fish and Blake
level.
were way better. But
yeah, and that's a great kind of a correlation. They play the typical college game, but the American college game.
Yeah,
they serve it in there and run around the backhand every chance they get an opportunity to. They hit the forehand, big loopy backswing.
Brooksby is the same to me.
Yeah,
look, I'm looking at all the American names that won yesterday. Let's see. Here we go. Let's start from here. We got Mackenzie McDonald, who beat Ironman.
College guy.
Jeez, man, Ironman. Anyways, Jerome lost to Musetti.
College guy.
Brooksby he didn't go to college.
Not sure he didn't
Carballos Baena. Jack Sock beat Cerundo Lahu. Eubanks beat Cressy. Okay.
Cerundo Lahu.
JJ Wolf beat Gaston. Okay. Korda beat Kokonakis. I would say Korda, out of all those, is better than all the ones I mentioned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and don't forget if you want a chance at the $50 for tomorrow's matches, correctly predict the score for the Rafael Nadal and who's he playing? I forgot.
Korda.
So
let me go to the other Americans. Tennis Sangren. Okay. Let me go to the other one. Kudla. Same kind of player.
Same deal, yeah.
Yeah, same deal. I mean,
so all the players you could substitute if you put.
Tommy Paul. Let's all throw them in a thing.
Let's go, Tommy Paul.
Put them on the court, and I guarantee you that half of the crowd won't even know their name if you don't mention it on the speaker.
Look, if you paired
guaranteed.
Up, if you had Tommy Paul play Marcus Giron, who would win? Coin toss.
And then you got Steven Johnson. So all these
coin
players.
Toss.
And then Curry, who once was okay.
Still coin toss.
But we can throw all these players, put a ball cap. I promise you, if you put a ball cap, a big T-shirt,
they all wear one
big
anyway.
Pair of shorts, and they walk into the court against anybody else, and they don't say their name, half of you guys won't know who they are.
Yeah, and they all wear a ball cap too, by the way. You don't have to put one on them. Because
put Michael Walker. He said Nadal 7-5, 6-4.
All right, Michael Walker has predicted Nadal wins 7-5, 6-4. Let me write that down.
William says, anyone else looking at the draws, even this week, and going, nope, boring, pass, nope.
Yep.
Only if I'm not wasting my hair,
go.
Nope. Washing my hair, nope. That's what I mean, yeah, me too. I put on the Kyrgios match just to see. Taylor Fritz has more talent than those guys, obviously, which is why he's up there.
And he's still boring.
And he's still got kind of the same game, but at least he's trying, and he's got a better look than they do, in my opinion. But I agree with you. I watched Nick Kyrgios last night because, I said, let's see what he does. I was just curious. I wasn't really paying attention. I watched Shelby Rogers because it was on in the morning, and I didn't feel like watching news, Russia and Ukraine. I was tired of hearing it. So I put the Shelby Rogers. But really, if you look at the matches, you're like, yeah, all right. And yeah, it's nothing exciting. I agree. There's nothing I can say, yes, I want to not sleep and watch this match tonight.
Do you think that Taylor Fritz is the best American male player currently?
Yes, right now.
And I know you want to say Opelka, but
old Isner is still better than those guys.
If Isner or Opelka have any issues with the serve, though, they're done.
Oh, I forgot about Opelka.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If their serve isn't clicking, they're done.
All right, so let's see tonight's match. Andy Murray, Tara Daniel. At this stage, Andy Murray should beat Tara Daniel. He's been back on the comeback trail for a while now.
Yeah.
At this point, okay.
But Tara Daniel's a fighter.
Let's see what other match is exciting here. Are you guys looking forward to Kukushkin and Tommy Paul?
Oh,
are we really looking forward to these let's go ahead. Brody and Kekmanovic. Brody, which was the one that everybody was cheering at Wimbledon when he played Djokovic's first match.
And Kekmanovic, the Serbian.
All right, let's see.
Good for him.
Tennis Sangren and Van den Zandschulp.
Van der Zandschulp.
Anybody interested in that?
Okay,
match?
hold on, freeze right there real quick. So you have mentioned Tennis Sangren, and that had my mind thinking for a minute. And you mentioned Raducanu, as I like to call her for a moment. By the way, Raducanu, not Raducanu, Raducanu, WHO. Raducanu plays Caroline Garcia today. Now, Caroline Garcia beat Yastremska. Yastremska was playing for her heartland or for her homeland, Ukraine, and was going to donate her winnings from this tournament to the fleeing Ukrainians. That's not why I'm bringing this back up. Again, shout out to all those in Ukraine. I think some 2 million people now have migrated outside of the country to escape the warfare. But let's look at some names in tennis, okay? We have Tennis Sandgren. Tennis is in the name. We have Katie Volleynets. Now she has 2 things in her name. She's got volley and net, and tennis has Tennis Sandgren in his name. So if you look at the sport of tennis, you start realizing that last names play a part in it. Okay. So Tennis Sandgren, Katie Volleynets, the name is within their name. Now, further that and look at the last names that end in ova, OVA, or IC, itch, Tipsarevic, Sharapova. The list goes on for like pages, right? I have come up with this assumption. If your last name ends in ova, OVA, or itch, IC, right? Djokovic, whatever, then you have a really good shot at being good in tennis. Okay. It's part of your name. It's in your DNA. I have learned as well this. If your last name ends in U, like Ku, especially CU, like Andriescu who or Raducanu who, more than likely you're one and done.
Okay.
Do you think this is just coincidence?
Probably.
There's no rhyme or reason to that.
The women's matches to me they have a lot better matches. If you're looking at it, okay, so today you got Pliskova, Kovinic, okay.
There's an itch.
Martic, Sindansek.
Okay.
Tomjanovic and Sersti. Swiatek and Kalinina. Halep, Alexandrova.
So look, if you went to your bookie and you called in a bet on every tennis match, no matter what the odds were, and you told your bookie, put $50 on every player whose name ends in ova and itch, and then go against, give me $50 on whoever is playing someone that ends in Ku. Do you think you come out winning?
Probably. So we got Kasatkina Volleynets today. Kornet Kalinskaya. Riz Muguruza. Okay. Kanepi Benchik. Better match than the guys. Goff and Liu. Kerber, Zhang, and Keys and Doi. That's your women's today. And I missed a few. But they sound more exciting than the men's tonight. Gasquet Ote. Okay. Big deal. Koshari Rusevori. Okay. Comfort Pair. Thompson Goffin. Munar Shang. Humbert Rune. Yeah. Ivashka Struff. Bagnes Laxinen. Okay. Begding Mashrak. Okay. Johnson Altmaier. Okay. Query Grixpoor.
Oh, I had enough.
It's like, do you really want to watch this?
I can't listen to that anymore.
There is nothing exciting.
I can't listen to that anymore.
So he said, hype for tonight's evening session. Can't wait for Cornet. Volleynet, Dari Vashka, and Bagnes. Tell me the Master 1000 arrives. It's boring.
Yeah. So speaking of boring, I want to ask everyone a question, and give this and don't hate me for going into something personal. But let me ask you all a question, and whoever's out there, you tell me if you kind of feel where I'm coming from or not. Where do I start this? Okay. We have 5 children. They're all tennis players. They're all tournament players. Well, the 9-year-old and the 6-year-old haven't played their first tournament yet, but they're knocking on the door. Mm-hmm. So a couple of years ago, we go to a tournament, and the tournament is at a club. And during that tournament, Carla and I had about 7 students playing in it. I think somewhere around there, like 7 students. And this was during when COVID had just started. So they were having to put dots on the balls and stuff like that. And the first matches of the first round had just started. Mm-hmm. And I was walking down the courts, telling all the players that are our students, good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck. Mm-hmm. And I get to the very last court, and I walk up to one of our students at the fence. She was picking up her balls with the dots on them for COVID. And I was like, good luck, play well, and just stay positive. Mm-hmm. The girl that this last student was playing was the daughter of one of the tennis coaches in this area. And that area has a lot of issues with where we come from, at least the school that we coach or help to coach. Anyway, so the parent of the girl that my student was playing, I was telling her good luck. Now, this is a couple years ago. I was telling her good luck, and she comes right behind me and starts yelling in my ear, "You can't coach from the sidelines, man. You can't coach from the sidelines." And I'm like, the match hasn't even started yet. I'm telling her good luck. And there was a whole bleacher full of people that were in our crew that heard her say that. I kind of blew it off, and I had to go sit down for a minute. And I'm like, geez, there's 3 things that I hate being called: a liar, a cheat, or a thief, because I hate all 3. And we raise our kids the same way. So the girl that we coached, that her family was sitting there, and her father, who's a very well-respected individual, heard the same thing. And he tells me, I can't believe she just did that. What a bitch. Anyway, so I let it slide. The girl that we were coaching got beaten by that girl 6-0, 6-0. She got killed. And so I kept thinking about this person that came up to me and said, no coaching from the sidelines, even though their daughter whipped our students' ass badly. And so I went up after the match and was like, man, I guess my coaching from the sideline didn't help. LOL technically. Okay, so scratch that. It was just, for me, it was comical at the time. We didn't even lose sleep over it. I was just like, man, whatever. Not too long after that, we played a tournament there, and my oldest son, Christopher, was playing, or second oldest son. My second oldest son, Christopher, was playing in it. Christopher and another boy were both like 7 UTRs, the best in the tournament, the best, right? They should have been on opposite sides of the draw. Well, the tournament director, which is the student's father, had put them both squared off in the first round. And furthermore, they put that first round match in a country club down the street and delayed it like 7 hours. So anyway, so we were frustrated at that. And oddly enough, all the people that had to travel to watch that match from the club that was delayed 6 or 7 hours, we had to travel to another town to watch them play. The court wasn't groomed. There was nobody there. So these 2 boys, who were both the heavy favorites to win the tournament, met in round 1. And everyone said that was watching there that the winner of that match will obviously win the tournament. And Chris lost that. It's okay. And it was close, 3-setter, and it was a close 3-setter. But the kid that beat Chris in the first round went on to win the tournament without dropping but another game or 2. So the same thing would have happened to Chris. So again, so we're talking like multiple things. So our 12-year-old daughter Lily now has become a good player. Okay, has become a good player, and we're proud of her. And this particular this particular girl plays for a team. The team, and she's the number 1 player, the same player who's mom jumps out of a tree and tells me I can't coach from the sideline when the match hadn't even started. The same entity of people that threw us to another court and put the top seeds in the tournament in the first round, like that's not rigged. Duh. Obviously it is. So now Lily is doing really well. And Lily plays number 1 on our high school team. Well, this same girl plays number 1 on their high school team, and they were supposed to have a match Tuesday. Okay. We had been training Lily for a year simply to try to win a game off of this girl. Mm-hmm. We go to the match. She doesn't even play. They didn't even allow that girl to play our 12-year-old daughter. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it was obvious that they didn't want to have to deal with someone as a 12-year-old taking a game from this super, so in other words, we felt very insulted by the fact that the number 1 player there, whose parents have literally attacked us time and time again for nothing, for absolutely nothing. What? The being anxious about maybe losing a game to a 12-year-old, or being anxious that we coach on the other side of the bed. Anyway, so we play a match there on Tuesday, expecting to play this number 1 player. Didn't even play. Meanwhile, she's there practicing on another court, right? But look, I'm just saying this. Don't be the type of people in the world today that are cowards and run from things. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for being a little bit out of shape about not allowing this player to play our daughter, even though she is the number 1 player on the team, and that my daughter worked really hard just to have a chance to win a game or two? Furthermore, during those matches, every time I walk up and down the courts checking on our teams and players, I hear one. See, we're from the other side of the tracks, right? We don't have tennis courts to practice on, the team, right? We don't have the best gear. We don't have the nicest clothes. We don't have the money to give meals to all of our kids when they play tournaments. They do. So we go over there to the home turf. We get there. And the whole time I'm there, we all hear it. The kids hear it and they're playing. Man, these kids suck. They look at their outfits. Man, this is a waste of time. We heard multiple people say the following: I can't believe we're here. This is a waste of time. These kids have no chance. How many times did we hear that? Many times. But
he's passionate.
But I tell you what, I do tell you one thing. My 12-year-old daughter hasn't lost yet, and she was up on their number 2 player that they put on the court because they were too scared to potentially lose a game to a 12-year-old. Look, I've said my piece, but I'm telling you, that's how American tennis is. This is the.
But they're not American.
Well, this is how American tennis is. Padded draws, baiting.
She's good though. The girl's good.
The girl's great. The girl's great.
You can't take
it has nothing to do with the girl at all. No. Girl's great. Love her. Great player. Good for her. Good ping pong player too. Came off an injury and still doing great. It's not about her. It's about the fact that 2 high school team number 1 players did not have a chance to play. And the number 1 player is up there practicing on another court while the matches are going on. Meanwhile, my 12-year-old is up on the number 2 girl. And then it rains, and so we take off. Meanwhile, the whole damn time I'm listening to people say, these kids suck. Look at their outfits.
Well, it's
bullshit.
That team had a tough team because the number 2 player from last year decided not to play. For multiple people told me because she was not allowed to challenge the number 1 player. So she decided not to play for Fairhope. Oops, sorry.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the fact
she decided not to play because she was not allowed to challenge. So
it
tells you there's something in there.
You can't.
There's obviously something.
Yeah,
in there.
We.
And I've been in those number 2 players' shoes because I've been challenged.
We know a player, or not know, but we heard the story that there was a player there.
No, it's Liliana. That's Gabriela's a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
What's your 12-year-old's daughter's name? It's
Liliana. Liliana. Anyway, I needed to get up off my chest because it was so disrespectful. It was disrespectful. You train kids so they have a chance. I had promised Lily, I had promised our 12-year-old daughter that I would give her $50 for every game that she won because we expected she would get trounced, more than likely, 0-0 or whatever. And she worked really hard for that and was so excited about that. She was looking forward to winning maybe a game. And she got the number 2 player instead and let us all down. And then furthermore, anyway, don't be like that. If you're on a team, be a team player and play your damn match, or let them play the match and stop being so damn worried about losing a game or two to a 12-year-old. She works her ass off. Jeez, man. Talking about raining on someone's little girl's development. She was looking so forward to that. Crazy, man. I'm sorry, but I'm passionate about it. And that's my daughter. She worked her ass off for that match. And guess what? She didn't get it. Next subject.
It's sprinkling again at Mirror Lake.
All right. Anyway, am I wrong for that? I mean, if you don't have kids, don't worry about it. Then there's no answer for you. But I mean, as a dad who lives and breathes tennis and finds a way to train their kids, and you train for a year for one particular match and you don't get it, there better be a next year.
If you hang out with Justin Davis,
shit, man,
you will get kicked out of any facility you go to.
Go to it. Kick me out.
Because he is so loud, like Christopher, he's screaming, and I'm embarrassed. I'm like,
no. There was. Okay. So Christopher, this happened the same day. So,
oh my God.
So Christopher's playing a match. And there's no one there. Again, we traveled and we're from the other side of the tracks. There's no fans there except just us, right?
Oh,
but there's like a million kids watching this match. And every time Christopher makes a mistake or every time this kid makes a good shot, they're like, whoa, yeah, whoa, let's go. And I'm sitting there. And in the meantime, my daughter's on playing the number 2 person. So I'm aggravated already. And then the people next to me, to my right, are like, these kids suck. They don't have, this is a waste of time. I wish we were at home. And I'm sitting there. And then the guy Christopher's playing, in high school tennis, they play deciding point. It's no ad scoring. And it was a deciding point, and Christopher hits a winner to get back into the match. That's like 6 inches in, and everyone saw it. And the kid calls it out. And he's like, yes. And all his cheering section is like, come on. And that's when I lost it. That's when I was like, let's go, Chris. Let's go. Come on. And I did that because they deserved it.
No, it was so bad that he was sitting back there calling the kid Teletubby, stop eating donuts.
True.
This guy right here. And the kids are like, who is this guy? I'm like, oh.
Then deal with it. They know now.
I'm like,
but look, man.
I don't know you. I don't know you.
What I'm getting at with the story is this is a majority of specific clubs these days in the United States. If you're at their club, then your shit stinks and theirs don't. And that's why American tennis is hurting, because you bring kids that are hungry to a club and they have to witness shit like that. Do they want to continue to play? Do they want to continue to play? They're embarrassed. They want to leave. They don't want any part of the game. And those are the kids you want to succeed, the hungry ones. But when you go to places like that, your kids don't get a chance to eat because they're getting laughed at the whole damn time. And I want that match next year. I want that damn match. If I don't get that match, I'm going to put her at 18 and under tournament. I'm going to get that match. Telling you, I'm gonna get that match. I don't expect to win it, but I expect.
Oh my God!
I'm
not looking forward to when little guy plays tournaments.
Shoot,
because we're gonna get kicked out. I'm not gonna wear the same shirt as. I'm not gonna be by yourself.
Telling you, man.
I'm gonna walk the other way on purpose.
Cowardice.
I don't know him.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know him.
Am I the only person?
But they'll believe me too.
Am I the only person that has the courage to speak the truth? Am I lying here? Did I lie about any one of those events, from being thrown at a different court? Have I lied?
I just think you're very emotional.
Did we do anything? Did we do anything at all?
You're just emotional.
You know how it all started? I say good luck to a girl, and some troll jumps out of a tree and tells me I can't coach, and then it started.
I thought you forgot.
I did forget about it.
The guy got so mad at him, he got blocked.
Yeah.
The guy, he didn't even write who it was about. The guy blocked him.
Yeah, I didn't.
Blocked him.
Jeez, man.
Oh, man.
Look, we'll get the match one way or the other. I'll put her in a college that plays that college. I'm gonna get that damn match.
Oh man, just
all right.
It's got a lot. I have passion, but it's. I won't ever like. I mean, I did get mad at that match.
How could you not be mad?
Like it started raining.
All the parents.
It started raining, and Christopher was down 7-2 match point. He came back 7-5. The momentum was on his side. Yeah. It started raining, and I said, "Stop! You guys have to stop." Because the coaches were around. My daughter was playing next to me. I said, you have to stop. It's hard court. It's slippery. It was raining hard. And they didn't want to stop the match. And the kids are like, well, they're like, why would we stop? They're like, you can get hurt. I'm looking at Christopher. It's not worth it. You go into an academy. It's not worth it.
You don't play in the rain on a hard court.
And then so I pulled them out, and I'm like, go ask your coach. And they even agree that we should stop. And then they're like, well, they should play on hard court. We're not going to go.
It was pouring.
They should play in clay court. We're not going to go from hard to clay.
You're going to switch from hard to clay, even though that probably would help.
No, but you don't do that. It's a high school match.
They'll play again. They're going to play again.
But then kids are like, that lady. So I finally said, that lady has a name. And I give, I was like,
yeah.
I mean, they're rude, rich, spoiled.
Fact of the matter is there is egos involved at certain places, and the ego goes to the highest levels in those places. It's wrong, and that is exactly why American tennis is hurting, because it is padded. It is the same thing. It's the same stuff, but a different day in a different geographical location. And we're going to change that. It is our goal to make the club setting a good setting, and not a setting in which you come to, and if you don't pull up in the new Benz 500 SEL, you're not welcome. Tennis is an international language. It's a sport that brings people together. And the whole reason why American tennis sucks these days is because in the U.S. especially, it is now a way to segregate the rich from the not. And this is an issue. Okay. We ask ourselves, why does USA tennis suck these days? It's because, man, half of the places you go to, who are these people? Look at the way they're dressed. They don't have a school bus to bring. They don't have courts to. Shut up. Just play your matches when you're supposed to play them. And don't be so damn scared as to lose a game to a 12-year-old. It's ridiculous. And I'm not wrong for saying it. At least I hope to have the damn courage to tell the truth. Am I right or wrong?
You can't handle the truth.
It's the damn truth.
He's passionate.
All right. Anyway, don't forget that if you want.
Yeah, it's no shocker. Tennis in America is destroyed. I mean, it's just
yeah, and a good stat from William Spencer. He says
it's destroyed. It's the way I think that a lot of these parents that have money make their kid think that they're the best thing since, what do you say?
Sliced bread.
But
they're not.
And the reality is that they're not in the high school level too. I mean, we've seen all types of players, and they come out with the best gears, and their kids, 57 rackets. Their parents pamper them to think that they're good, but really you're not that good.
And the worst thing
I would have whooped a lot of these kids' ass. Like after 11, like 1 year of training, I would have kicked a lot of their asses.
And another thing is,
the tennis in Alabama is so far behind. It's crazy.
And this is not just Alabama; it's the whole United States. But some coaches that have children that play in their tournaments, they will adjust the draw to make sure that their whatever has an easier time. That's not how you create a champion. You want your upcoming athlete to experience ups and downs. You want your upcoming athlete to go through the trials and tribulations. You want to become conditioned to the tennis mentality. It's not all about getting in your car and putting on your gear and going out to eat at night.
It's just what my problem is, the lack of respect they have for the opponent. When I play tennis in New York, it's a melting pot in New York, as you know, Michael Walker. There's black, there's whites, there's Europe, every race. As a matter of fact, all my tennis friends were from different backgrounds, and I never thought of them as different. I never said that's my Russian friend, that's my friend is from China, my friend's from Japan. Never said that.
Exactly.
We never looked at each other that way. But even though we knew in the tennis world that maybe some of us didn't come from much, and that we struggled to even eat, when we played the match, we had respect for each other. We battled on the court and we shook hands. Some of these kids, they laugh at these other kids. They make comments. They cheat. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse, in my opinion. Yeah. I've never seen such disrespect for other players.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember playing tournaments where matches in New York where maybe this kid just grabbed a racket, and I know they couldn't play, but I never laughed at them. Never. I remember playing in Florida, high school tennis. I was the number 2 seed. I got this school that, all African-American kids, they just started learning how to play tennis. I remember it. And I was helping the girl out with the score. They didn't even know the score of my own opponent. I never laughed at her. I helped her. But some of these kids, their parents don't teach them how to be human beings.
Exactly.
They teach them to treat others bad. And if you keep conditioning people, if you condition your kids to be that way, well, they'll be like that as adults, and it'll just be worse. They'll condition their own kids that way. It's just not the same.
Let me tell you,
It's not the same. It's sad, actually.
It would never happen in our house, but if I ever heard one of my 5 children, they would never do it. It almost sickens me to think about it. But if I ever heard one of my children, of course they wouldn't because we struggle. But if I heard one of them telling someone out loud, or the stuff we hear isn't quiet, it's out loud. If I heard Liliana, Christopher, Jonathan, Gabriella, Justin Jr., if I heard any one of them call out someone because of what they're wearing or where they're from, it'd be a really tough day for them. And it is a bound these days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the old saying that there's a bunch of different ways this is said, and I say it all the time on this show. Quote, be kind because everyone that you meet is fighting a tough battle. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care. It doesn't matter. If you're filthy rich, you can still get sick. If you're filthy rich, you can still have people that pass away. Everyone fights a tough battle. Maybe some people fight tougher battles. Much love, Ukrainians, and the Russians too. I hope they're well. I do mean that. But Michael Walker left a comment a minute ago, and I wrote it down here, that it indicates some more of this just bullshit. His comment, Michael Walker says, Laver Cup tickets are now $3,000. Think about that. To go watch a tennis match with Nadal and Federer in it, you're going to spend $3,000? Insanity. That is the rich getting richer, and furthermore, segregating the super rich only being able to watch a live tennis event. Do you care for the Laver Cup? I think it sucks.
No.
Do you like the Laver Cup?
No.
Do you guys enjoy going home and watch, Nadal and Federer kiss each other and hug one another?
The reason what attracted me to tennis, besides the girl that I saw play, when I was younger, is my dad. I remember taking me to the U.S. Open, and we didn't, of course, we didn't come from a lot, and my dad had the tickets, but the U.S. Open was different. It wasn't it wasn't the new stadium they built. You could still see the players, but the fact that you saw a lot of players that you didn't know, they were hungry, they were fighting. It's what, made me excited about the game. I mean, there were so many fans and stuff. So I agree with William Spencer's comment. Tennis is in a decline. Prices are so high. Look at Indian Wells so far. Hardly a soul there. And so evening matches on the main court. Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's another problem. Why? And why is that happening? I mean, it's because of the type of players that are on the tour. There's no heart and soul. There's no passion.
Exactly.
There's a lot of bratty players. I think that we're missing that element in pro tennis. Where are those stories where you remember watching someone win and you would cry with them?
Exactly.
I mean, Nevidev won the US Open, but did I have a tear in my eye? No.
Exactly. Also, too, Carla and I, all the time, and not just randomly, all the time, we're going to tournaments and so forth. So how many coaches have we seen, Carla, over the past, say, year, much less our entire life, but over the past year that you have seen with, say, 10 kids on the court, one coach, 10 kids. So 10-to-1 ratio. Okay. 10 kids, one coach, one court. Okay. That's a crowded court, right? How many times have we seen those individual kids paying $35, $45, $50 for that hour? Now, remember, there's 10 kids on the court and they're each paying $50 a piece with one coach. Do the math. That's $500 for the person coaching the lesson. And do you know what you see them doing?
Oh, I watched it yesterday. I watched it yesterday.
Tapping ball. Yesterday, I watched this.
We watched this, and I know the guy wasn't an American coach. You can see from his face.
It was hideous.
And then the way he was feeding, it's like he didn't care. He was like, yeah, plant yourself.
Yeah.
Plant yourself. It was a little kid, and the parents are there on their phone.
And they don't know what to look at.
Their phone. And I said, oh my God, if I ever taught a lesson like this to a little kid.
Yeah.
I would shoot myself.
Yeah, be bad.
The reason why I drain myself, I think, a lot, and I needed a break this week.
We put everything in every lesson.
I just got pictures of the course. There's a lot of puddles. I don't think we're going today.
We put everything into every lesson. Every damn lesson.
I teach little kids, and those are the toughest to teach. Little kids are the toughest to teach. And I know why. I mean, this coach, he was teaching a little kid. He was not interested. It's the toughest because you have to put your 100%. I actually try to teach every little kid the right technique, and
From day one.
go over and over, even
The
though
right serve grip,
even though
the
they
right
might
way
be
to volley.
bored, they might be bored with. But I don't just feed balls. I'm more worried, and I tell them I don't care how you hit the ball, like if it goes in or out. I'm worried about your technique, and that's what I'm looking at, you know. But some of these coaches, the way they're feeding, it's like these kids are not learning anything, and no wonder that when we get some of these kids that play, you ask them, "Hey, how long you play tennis?" 2 years, 3 years. They look like they haven't even played for a week.
Yes. We get students often that have been playing. We meet them and we realize they can hit the forehand and that's about it. We have students that parents have been paying for their children lessons for a long time. Some of them up to $100 an hour for one coach. Carla and I, there's two of us. And we're
well,
not
we
even
saw
half
the
that.
price yesterday. I was shocked. You said there was a camp for an hour and a half.
Yeah, there was a post up there.
$75 per kid. I'm like, oh.
For 1 hour. $75 per kid.
And it's not a private lesson. It's
and
not a private lesson. So I'm like, what?
Yeah. Now the what we were seeing yesterday, the coach had all the kids line up to practice serve. Well, he was just getting the ball and throwing it at the kid, and the kid would go up to serve, but every one of the kids was like stumbling across the baseline. In other words, foot faulting, and wasn't saying anything about it. He was just like, good serve. Good serve.
No, there's no correction.
But some of the students that we were teaching that were playing were in between matches and they were kind of watching it and they were like, "Hey, Justin," or Coach Justin, "aren't they foot faulting every time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, good eyes," but I didn't want to say it out loud. But we have beginner students that pick that up. Like, are they even serving right? Because they're all like into the court. And then I'm sorry, but that's just what you see. And it's not just here. It's in the whole US and maybe internationally. I don't know. But I would rather have one hungry student that doesn't come from nothing. I would rather have that one hungry student that doesn't come from nothing, that doesn't have much money, but just wants to learn than a whole car full of kids that are silver spoon fed. And anything you say to them, they just roll off. I don't need it anyway. I would rather have the hungry kid. Right. And that's what we do these days here. Not us, but that's what we see is it's no more hungry kids allowed. You don't have the right shirts or shorts. Get lost. You don't have a tennis court at your school and you go to a public school.
I told Justin,
get lost.
I told Justin yesterday we have 3 rackets that a student gave to us. And, you know, my son, I convinced him to use a heavier racket because I felt like the light rackets were not helping him. Mm-hmm. But I said, you know, there's a young boy in our team that he hasn't really taken lessons. The teacher has helped him, but I said we should give that young boy that's in 7th grade the racket.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said he needs a racket. I said, sure, we could sell the racket. I said, but I'd rather give it to him. Yeah, I feel like we would do something good.
Yeah.
So I said, let's give him the racket.
Okay, so was that 101 and around 30? We'll just say there. But yeah, Carla is alluding to there's a family, and it's a really
I don't know their economic situation. Maybe their economic situation is
doesn't matter. But Carla's alluding to a really super cool family that we have an honor to know. And they have a group of really good boys. I mean, they have this. The older
brother's a football player, and he plays for our tennis team. Yeah. But he doesn't take a lesson, and if he just took a little bit of lesson, he could be really, really good. Yes, and then his little brother, who's in 7th grade, started with the tennis team. He's like number 8 or 9 or whatever.
He's a great kid,
and he has talent. You could see the talent there.
He's got great energy.
If you could just teach him the right technique, but he doesn't have the weapon to do it.
Yeah. So we'll provide him that weapon. I'll give him that racket. I gave his brother one. He didn't have it yesterday, so I'm guessing maybe something happened to it. What's up, Hayden? Where's that racket I gave you? Anyway, it's all good. Doesn't matter. It's a blessing to know them. And again, I call Hayden's younger brother, who's Braxton. Mm-hmm. Isn't it Braxton?
I think it's Braxton.
I call him Little Mahomes because man, he is Patrick Mahomes' little brother.
He does look like him, yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes has no idea that homeboy has a lookalike that's in 7th grade. It's uncanny. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I hope we have the opportunity, and I know we will. I would love to have those boys with me a couple days, whether they pay or not. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Really don't. I'll find a way to work them in. Mm-hmm. But that's what the coaching world needs, especially here in the United States. People that are willing to work with people that are hungry. Forget about the money. I mean, we have to make money. It's part of life. Mm-hmm. But I can find a way to work in 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes here, go hit.
Well, it's like I told his brother, I
way.
said, even if you're there at the club,
You should be there.
Just be there. I said, just being there is the key. I said, so yeah.
Real quickly, I think it was William Spencer or one of these guys a moment ago that was talking about, it's Michael Walker that was talking about the price of the Laver Cup tickets, right? $3,000, crazy expensive.
130 is not bad, Michael Walker. I agree with you. For
Yeah,
a ticket.
not terrible.
The tennis facility has to make money, and that's just
Yeah. Now, we know that we're dealing with a gas price increase. You know, we got the whole geopolitical thing in Ukraine and so forth. By the way, I think that whole conflict, I think, has been a way to take our eyes off the real problem, which is the economy of the world. I think it's a good distraction. But has anyone seen what the gas prices are in California currently, where this tournament, Indian Wells, is taking place? Going back to the fact that someone said earlier there was hardly anybody in the crowd. Gas prices in California are $7 a gallon somewhere, $7 US. Can you freaking imagine that? Mm-hmm. Like right now, Carla and I live an hour away from where we teach. And we drive a Subaru Forester with a 4-cylinder. It gets like 35 miles to the gallon. And gas here is what, 4 something? Mm-hmm. So even we have to factor in exactly whether it's going to rain or not, whatever.
Yeah, like
because
right
if
now,
we drive an
right
hour,
now, like they're telling me that I just got pictures from Julie who lives there, and they're soaked. They need to dry, and if there's no sun, they're not going to dry. We're going to drive all the way over there, and it's light raining sometimes. Yeah. So we have to decide that. You know, I know our friend Robert's like, but what are you going to do in the summer? We'll be there all day with our kids. It's different. But I'm not driving there to not teach and then use the gas
and then drive back.
So not doing that.
And the summer is different because the kids are out of school, but now we have the logistics of picking kids up and bringing. So anyway, the summers are a different story. Robert, if you're watching this, I love you, brother. You're like my bro. One of my few. Anyway, but yeah, so the gas prices, I think, have a lot of correlation between the lack of fans, because again, they're playing in Indian Wells, which is basically Palm Springs. Mm-hmm. Used to live right across Mount San Jacinto from there, so I know the area very well. It's, there's probably 400,000 or 500,000 people in that area, and they're not all tennis fans, so most people come to these tournaments to see their favorite players from a little farther away. And in California, the gas price is $7 a gallon in some places. I think that has a lot to do with the lack of fans or lack thereof, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's about all I have. I don't really have anything more than that. Don't forget, if you want to win $50, correctly predict the score and the winner of the Rafael Nadal and Sebastian Korda match, and we'll send you $50 out. And we'll keep doing that as we go. Just make sure you're subscribed. It's free. All you got to do is hit the button, and you're qualified for any of the giveaways. And by the way, we do random giveaways as well.
$4.79 for premium. I think we're a lot higher here then.
For premium?
Yeah.
That's not terrible. I think we're about close to that.
Yeah. And that's New York
City. I figured New York City would be higher. That's pretty good, actually. Mm-hmm. I think we're around $4.79 a gallon here now, somewhere
for
like
regular.
That. And it's regular. That's premium. So I think we're above $5 here for premium. And we are really close to refineries. We have oil rigs all over the places. Right off of our beaches, we have oil rigs. You can see them. So we're in a pretty live area for fuel, or at least petroleum, and it's rather expensive.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, we will see.
Well, we get to relax, Justin, and enjoy our day today. Yeah, maybe watch a movie, watch some tennis. And then get ready for tomorrow morning. That's cold. It's supposed to be cold. We have lessons tomorrow.
And I look forward to that. I don't mind the cold. It makes my knees hurt a little bit. And anyway, appreciate all of you as always. Again, I'm really passionate about helping children. I really, really, really am passionate about helping children. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I lose my sense of being quiet when I see children being affected by things that they're hearing. Mm-hmm. The mother yesterday, we were playing a match yesterday, and we had another match on Tuesday where all this kind of culminated. And the mother asked us yesterday, she was like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe it. My daughter was out there playing, and they were talking about that.
My son.
My son is out there.
My son came out so distraught. He said it was.
He didn't want to play anymore. And so we had to reassure her that this is not a normal thing. It's only at the place where we were. Mm-hmm. And it's not cool to say things like that to a young man that was so proud to have a chance to play. But it's very common. Unfortunately, it's what causes newcomers to the game to not play anymore because
Yeah.
they don't want to be. When you play tennis, it's just you and your opponent, or if it's doubles, it's 2-on-2, and you're in your own world in there. And unfortunately, the people surrounding the fences can be easily heard. And when you have a young man come off the court, not crying but upset that that he had to hear that they suck, this is a waste of time, and having the mom that drove all the way over there to hear that too, and he's just starting the game, and then people want to call me an asshole for saying let's go really loud.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only person saying let's go because I was the only person there.
Yeah.
Just saying, man, this stuff has to stop. And it's my goal to stand correct, stand fast in anybody's face. I don't care. I mean, I do, but I mean, I won't lose sense of professionalism, but there's nothing unprofessional about saying, let's go as loud as I can. If you go to a basketball game, you go to a football game, you got crowds in the end zone waving signs. Whoa, you suck, missed the field goal, you bozo, you suck. And all of the other people do it. But when I do it as the only fan, then I'm the bad guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but think I'll get that match though. Right?
Yep.
All right, guys. Much love. Vamos. Let's go.
I gotta work my schedule.
Come
right?
on.
Yep. Gotta work my schedule. Trying to figure out this phone. It's tough.
Peace.
Bye.
Let's go.